Good evening. Welcome to today's live stream. Tonight's live stream. It's quite late. Putting the kids to bed just takes longer and longer and longer. Anyway, here we are doing the daily practice. And today we have a double portrait. And I'm going to see if I can do this double portrait in less time than I did yesterday's single portrait. And Tommy, I see that you are here and it's very nice to have you here. The sketches that you posted on Instagram, so cool. You're doing so much amazing drawing and it's really a treat to see. Anyone else who is here, I see two other people are here too. Say hello in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, I would like you to say hello as well. And tell me who your favorite Matrix characters are. So we're going to be drawing the twins today, Neil and Adrian Raymond. And if I'm not mistaken, I tried to find them on Instagram and it seems they may both be metal workers these days. One a jewel smith and one doing decorative metal work, which is very interesting. And I wonder if those two accounts are indeed those two interesting characters from the Matrix films. Hello, Jesco Studio and Martina. Nice to have you here. Let's do this sketch, shall we? So I'm doing Procreate portraits on the weekends this month of Matrix characters. And I'm focusing on using shapes. And I'm going to see how I go with this double portrait. And I'm quite tired. So I'm going to see how quick I can do it. And it's interesting because it's kind of low resolution, and sometimes that can be a good thing because there aren't too many details to get lost in, and maybe it's going to be easier because it's low res. Maybe it's going to be easier because it's two faces instead of one. And it looks like there's a lot of detail, like with the hair and stuff, but I'm just going to see how simple I can do it. And interestingly, it looks very silvery grey and there's not much green on it. But since this is the color that's just up here right now, I don't know, I may change that, and I can do it anytime I feel like. I'm just going to put that in there just to have something. It was fun drawing the spoon child yesterday, Rowan Witt, who saw my story that I posted on Instagram and reshared it. So that was fun. Thank you, Rowan. All right, here we go. Let's see how fast we can draw a double portrait in Procreate. Focusing on shapes, using shapes. I still have the same proportions, dimensions to my Procreate canvas, which I feel is like maybe a bit tight for this double portrait. Like it's a very vertical canvas that I have. And it's maybe like too tight. This is interesting. Strangely interesting. Oh, well, that looks alright. Look, now it's much grayer. That's cool. Yeah, that Rowan shared my piece. That is cool. I was so amazed when I found Rowan's Instagram. I'm like, oh, the Spoon Kid is now Rowan Witt, an actor, and it's no longer the child from the Oracle's living room. So that was really, really cool. What have people been up to today? Do tell. Hello, Nana. Good evening. I've done some gardening. What else have we done? Our friend Polly the dog was visiting this weekend, so I spent some time with Polly, taking Polly for walks, spent some time in the garden. I was removing young trees with strong deep roots from places where we don't really want those trees to be. So we moved not too long ago, and the garden here is, oh, that's way too pink. there's some warmth to these portraits, a little bit. They're very cool and pale, but there is some kind of warmth. And the garden here has just been left to do what it wants for a couple of years. And it's an interesting experience because if I were designing a garden, it would be different. But we're kind of in service of this garden at the moment to see, okay, what is this garden like? How can we be of service to it to kind of give what's growing here the best opportunity to do what it needs to do. But there's kind of hedges and decorative plants, which if I had the choice, I wouldn't really have those kind of plants. I'd like to see a lot more kind of plants that nature likes, the bees, the bugs, things that grow, berries. There are a couple of berry things actually. There's gooseberries, which in German are called Stachelbeeren, which is like spike berries. Some of those, which is cool. That's very dark. So these two characters, they are some exiles in service of the Merovingian, it seems, in the Matrix. And there are these interesting characters which are like renegade programs within the mainframe of the Matrix, kind of doing not what they were initially intended to do. Which is an interesting concept. And I remember, I don't really know anything about what they're supposed to be and what their story is, but I remember thinking they were pretty cool when I saw them in the film. Martina, you suggested we do the twins' portraits. What do you think about the twins? You can sketch one twin and then just copy and paste. Yes, or in Procreate you can also, there's a mirroring tool, so you can draw on one half of the canvas and it immediately mirrors it. I thought I could do that, but I'm not doing it. Tommy, sitting in the garden, painting in the sun. That sounds amazing. Barely waking up, says Martina. Catching up on sleep. That sounds good. It's been a lazy day. Going outside does sound like fun. So what do we know about the twins? And in case you've not been here before, while I've been going through this process, I just like using the freehand selection tool to grab shapes, and that's how I'm making my Procreate portraits. Filling shapes with colors and values. I can see these interesting warm colors, which I think this was a shoot for a magazine, not actually something from the film. And once again, it was kind of hard to find good reference of these characters. And I was just thinking, did these films come out so long ago that it's hard to find like a variety of high quality images of these characters, which seems like it wasn't that long ago. But it seems like now, like there's just everything, like whatever happens these days, there just seems to be a lot of high-res images to support the fact that it happened. And looking for the twins, it was just like, oh, I can hardly find anything which is like really useful. Similar to the Train Man, when I was looking for a reference of the Train Man, it was just like, oh, where are all the high quality good images? Like, it wasn't that long ago that these films were made. Like, and I feel like I'm looking at VHS quality photos of a low-res TV screen back in the day, trying to look for images of these characters. Interesting. This is a bit hard. I know what I'm trying to do here, but it's a bit... I put it on the same layer as the glasses because I thought there's a similar kind of intensity, but I'll stick with it for now. Maybe by doing on the second layer where here I also softened the intensity. It's the same. I'm just dropping the same color in, but to varying opacity. So maybe I'll put in the super dark shapes and then I'll add some lighter shapes to soften. You always just love the look of the twins, Martina. And you also liked how all these renegade programs are just trying to survive. No one wants to be deleted. Yeah, so cool. I read something interesting today as I was looking for these images that said that there was a phase where apparently there was some controversy around the twins, because around this time that these films came out, that there had been numerous films which depicted albino characters, although, and then the people that made the film said they're not really albino characters, but there were films that were kind of creating villains. Like, there were a series of films that had very like super fair skinned albino looking characters that were villains, and apparently there was so much of it happening that as soon as like albino looking person would appear in a film, that people would start to have the association this is going to be a villain. And so there was controversy around that because it was like, I guess, typecasting and this kind of prejudice creating, othering, and it was something that I did not think about. I was not aware about. I don't think I saw those other films at the time, but apparently one of the Star Wars prequels, apparently there were a few of those films around at the time that were various studios were called out for creating this kind of what do you call it? Just that it was too much of a pattern, and maybe it was a subconscious thing, but it kind of brought it to the awareness of people that like, oh, okay, we like, this is not how it should be. Interesting. So this is cool, just drawing shadow shapes in the hair. Hey, Oliver, hello, hello. Good evening, nice to have you here. Who else is here? Is anyone here who's not said hello yet? Yeah, so this way of just like picking shapes, and this is a general kind of thing, like with this hair, because the locks are, have really distinct shapes, it makes it kind of clearer and simpler. But people have asked about drawing hair, and it is a thing of just identifying main shapes and then finer shapes within those main shapes. And hair can be incredibly complex and kind of confusing, but if you keep practicing this way of grouping values into shapes, like this shape here, then that is a super helpful way of understanding hair and any other complex shape. This little shape's so small it's hard to get in there. Our 6-year-old, who was up very late and very excited, maybe because of what I'm about to tell you, has a guest appearance. She's in kindergarten and was going to be going with the other kindergarten kids who are starting school in summer, going to the school to have the first visit. I think it's going to be very exciting. So it took a very, very, very long time to get to sleep. And also, she's very excited because she's planning a birthday party for one of her toys and has invited a bunch of friends, and they're coming over on Tuesday. And a couple of the friends in the circle of friends have been doing this, where they're celebrating the birthdays of some of their favorite toys. Because if you only have one birthday party a year, you got to wait for a very long time until you can have another party. So she's just so excited about her unicorn's birthday party, which is going to be on Tuesday. And she's been planning it for days. So excited, talking about it, planning things, making party bags, thinking of games, decorations. And she keeps, for a week now, she's been like, I've got so much to do. And then she keeps asking us, something like, Kira said today, Holly, it's your child. You've got to plan the party. And it's very, very sweet. It's like, Holly, we don't need that extra work, but if you really want a party for your unicorn, then you can plan a party for your unicorn. Did anyone in the chat ever have parties for their toys? I didn't. Hola, Luis. Hello, Penny. Buenas noches. Luis, an amazing reel on Instagram. Everyone go to Lewis's Instagram. So Tommy shared a really awesome reel of all these great sketches. And then Lewis also shared a really awesome reel of all these watercolor pieces from last month. So good. So good. You're late, but you're welcome. So good to have you here. Unicorns have 7 birthdays each year. That's what you heard at least. Oh, so maybe this is... Kira bought a candle, a number 1 candle. So maybe this is the first of the 7 birthdays this year. And Lewis, the other day you told me that you found a new drawing app for Android. It's very similar to Procreate. Its name is Paint. Interesting. I'll check it out. Is that a free app, Lewis? Or is it like a free and paid version? Or is it paid? What's the story? Martina, it's a party for a unicorn. We must invite narwhals. That is such a good idea. You'll share it in the art supplies in the Discord server. Maybe all of the kids should bring their soft toys as well. Then we'll need extra party bags and extra supplies if they're going to be so many guests. That sounds really cool. Paint. Has anyone here used heavy... Oh, wrong layer. Has anyone here used heavy poly? Which some people use it. It's like a really digital painterly painting app, which some people are doing very, very cool stuff with it. All right, when I did that first dark shadow shape, I was like, whoa, that's way too hard, too dark. And now that there's so much dark stuff, and there's a bit of like in between tones and stuff. It's like, oh, it no longer feels like it's too loud to me. When I first put it down, I was like, oh, that's too much. But now that there's so much stuff going on, it's not so evident anymore. It's balanced it out a bit. All right. So I had just started a new layer here. Whoops. Because I thought maybe I can go lighter on some areas of the face. That's very light. Make it a bit transparent. A bit more subtle. I'm using the brush to go even softer with the light. Make it really subtle. It's very subtle. Can you even see that? Yeah, a little bit. So it's the same layer, same color, but rather than dropping the full color in there, I just brushed it in. Then it's much lighter. It's a free app, cool. Lewis, are you drawing on a tablet or on the phone? So I'm wondering about the warmth in this image, because I feel like in the film I'm not sure that they're very warm. But I'm going to put it in here anyway, because it's interesting. It's interesting, like color contrast wise, to the cool greens. It's just having a bit of warmth in here as well. Yeah, all those watercolors, Lewis, amazing. So cool. And it made me think, oh, it'd be nice to somehow make a thing of the things that I did too. I wonder if I use this. And make some really dark shadows, which are kind of using that warm color, which feels a bit like strange, and it's not as dark and it's much warmer than I think it actually is, but it could be interesting. All right, this is interesting. It's not turning out to be much quicker than yesterday's. I was like, maybe I'll just like bust out these two portraits really, really fast. But just focusing on the one here, which is looking pretty cool, but this one is has a ways to go. Wondering about this green in the background if I line it. That's interesting. Not so loud green, but still definitely green. All right. I feel like I'm ready to move on from this one pretty much, I think. And now that I'm in the swing of things, I don't feel as tired as I did before I started the live stream. Is that worth changing that shape or not? Oh, I've lost it now. Okay, I'll just leave it like that. A bit broad, but it's okay. Okay, I'm just moving my reference over here. Gonna move over to this side. Is anyone else working on both of the portraits? Could have been interesting just to like, I'm just wondering if I was working on the same value on both portraits at the same time, that could be helpful. So now I'm going to see if I can find the right layer, and although I could create new layers so as not to confuse things, because I've kept it to a pretty low layer count. Oh, that's not the super dark layer. Okay, now it's on the super dark layer. Okay, did I? Oliver is a twin. Wow, cool, so cool. I have a lot of ideas about twins. I am not one. I've met many twins, but I have some kind of magical idea of what being a twin must be like, and I'm not sure if it's actually like that. Hang on. These transparent layers are great. I'm glad you like them, Lewis. I'm not as tired because I'm thinking about the party and it boosted my adrenaline. Yeah. Thank you, I guess, Martina. Thank you for your disbelief. Yeah. I'm fairly quick at picking shapes and stuff. That's seeing what I'm seeing. But still, I thought I was going to just do 2 portraits in 15 minutes and go to bed. But that's apparently not what's happening. Why is that so dark? That's much darker than this. Okay. Because I merged two layers which are at 73% opacity, and then I started adding to that layer, but what I'm adding to the layer is now at full intensity. All right, I'm going to cut that because I want it to be the same as other, so I'll have to make another layer, put it to 73. Oh, hang on. If I paste, yeah, and then make that 73. And then I'll be working with the same value. Anyone else got hay fever? I just feel itching inside my mouth. What? This layer was the not quite so dark layer, but so if the two Instagram accounts I found of the Raymond twins are the same people who played the roles of the Matrix twins, they are now both working with metal. A jeweler and a decorative ornamental metalsmith. I wonder if those are the very same people who played these characters, or if it's some other Raymonds. But interesting, if both of the Instagram accounts I found, if they are not the same people, they're both doing metal work, and somehow it's very interesting. This is a bit broad, this shape over here, but this was also a bit broad, so I could just keep going with it. And cannot. And own it. Own my wonky drawing and not correct it because I want to go to bed. Or I could, because it wouldn't take that long to correct it. And then it would look more kind of accurate. What a dilemma. Whatever should I do? So what is it like to be a twin? I wonder. My kids, I feel like, are great friends. So much conflict. And I have asked some parents of twins, I was like, do your kids get along? Because I imagine, like, from the get-go, they just always have to share everything all the time, right? I wonder. I wonder lots of things. It must be a very special sibling relationship. But maybe every sibling relationship is very special. In whatever way. All right, so I'm wondering about the shape of this blob that I initially put down. Have a look. This blob here. And I guess it would be pretty easy to change that shape. And like as now I've put down more, have more to go by, I realize maybe that shape could be a bit different. And maybe there could be like something in there. Does that work very well? Maybe with a brush. I could raise some with the brush. Yeah, I like that. Bob and Eric, or Bob and Eric. Hello to Portland from Central Germany. Perfect timing. It is great to have you here. You just got done monotyping. Cool. How was that? What have you been working on? That sounds amazing. What else have people been working on recently? Lewis, the worst problem I have is the pen on the tablet or mobile. Now I'm using my Wacom S tablet connected to my tablet. I have a paper-like membrane on my iPad, which gives it a kind of matte appearance, and it makes it not feel like plastic on plastic so much. It still is, or plastic on glass. It has a bit of a texture to it, which is nice. Lewis says, Dylan, it is not better to do a whole layer of color and then remove the gaps in the hair. For example, put a dark layer and then the light layer on top. Yes, there are a couple ways to do it. You could just like remove the highlights. Totally, that would work. Or just like, yeah, do different layers. If you're thinking about it like the way you did with the portrait that you were cutting, then it'd be an interesting kind of systematic approach to the way you do it, I guess. Remove the spaces so that the black appears. Yeah. Oliver says, or funny, as kids, it was a lot of fighting and a lot of teachers mixing up names and such. Lewis, this way I did the other day with the result, superimposing layers of color on cardboard. Exactly. That's what I was thinking as I was reading what you said. I was like, that sounds like the way you would have worked with the cardboard. Yes. It's like this comes down here. Now I'm just thinking, what can I do to wrap this up? A few more dark shapes, a bit of that kind of warmth and tonal variation in the face. Where am I? coming down here, here. I've mentioned this on other days, much earlier than this, of course, but you can use whatever you want as you're drawing along. Like I've been focusing on Procreate with these matrix portraits in the past few weekends, but in case you're wondering, and I could have said this much earlier, and I guess you're probably just doing what you want to do anyway, which is probably for the best. But yeah, you can, regardless of what I'm doing in the daily practice, like it's cool if you want to do what use the same medium as me, but you can use whatever you want to work with, of course. What is everyone working with? Lewis, are you using that? I have to read back through the chat to see what that app was called. But have you been using it much? I'll go to the, maybe to the dark layer. We can add some intensity to some of this. And then I'm almost ready for bed. What are other people going to do with the rest of their Sunday, wherever you are? What are you doing this week? Do you have any creative plans for the week? Was that a good move, putting that in there? No, I feel like that's too much, that warm shape down there. Too much. Alright, highlight layer. Maybe in that highlight layer, I'll do something with this bright hair, just some quick locks. And not all of it, just where it's like super bright. It doesn't all need to be that bright. You can see here there's this highlight area here, so that would be cool. and to give some definition to these forms like this. Like that. It's almost it. I'm not going to do anything for the clothing. And I wish my canvas wasn't that long. This could be cut into 2 bookmarks, and these faces could be looking out the top of your book, looking at you, waiting when you're going to continue reading. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting from the length of this. So it would be interesting to have something else in there, but this is what I got. So it'd be like as a square composition would be more interesting, but I just used the same shape I've been using for all of these, which I guess if we looked at it amongst the others would be interesting to see. It would just be a very different composition. And as tradition dictates, I'll put a coloured layer on top. Someone tell me what colour to put on top of this. Tommy, the Zoom is the day after tomorrow, but everyone should come and join our Zooms. Tommy's looking forward to the Tuesday Zoom session so much, he thinks that Monday is Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we draw together in Zoom, we draw each other. It's so much fun, amazing practice. And Tommy, your drawings from last Tuesday was so good. So good. Oliver just fixed my cracked headphones with hot glue on low heat. It works surprisingly well. That's great. Hi Paint, Martina says. I'm just using pens and markers this time. Need to catch up on other dailies. I'll use them as a warm-up. Really want to work on this painting of Chris Cornell. Cool. I've compiled a list of people I would like to draw. I'm debating what I should do as painting for my first time oil painting, experimenting. Someone you love, but something like low pressure for first time trying a new medium. Baby blue orange. What? What's a baby blue orange? Okay. Baby blue? All right. Or orange. Or both. But maybe, yeah, we'll see. Penny, you used crayons. Good night. Baby blue orange. Baby blue. Is this baby blue? Oh, it's so different. What I can see is so different to what you can see. What if that looks bluer to you, but now it looks like sky blue to me, but I'll just go with it. And I want to see a bit more of what's going on here with this. Oh, that's cool. Color burn. That looks really cool. That looks cool. Lots of cool things. Oh, there's a little bit of orange in there. Oh, I see. Oh, that's cool. All the others were feeling very samey. It got to the difference layer. Oh, and there we go. There's the orange. I suspected by putting a blue layer on some of these variations were going to be orange. And maybe that made it stand out really well. That looks so cool. We're suddenly on Arrakis instead of in the Matrix. Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone. I would love to see your work on the Discord server and on Instagram, so you can tag me on Instagram here. Join the Discord server. The link is in the description. It'd be so cool to have you there. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'll be doing some different stuff tomorrow. And here we go. Orange is directly, on the other side. New layer, orange. And it's just, interestingly, like variations on what we had with the blue. Oh, that is so cool. All right. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. There we go. That almost looks like the original reference, just a bit warmer. Cool. There's a comma. I saw the comma, but I just thought baby blue orange. It's a baby blue orange. But I did see your comma. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, twins. Rest well. And, well, see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Farewell. Thumbs up. Subscribe. Like this. Buy me a coffee. Subscribe to my Patreon. There are all sorts of things in the description, all sorts of links that you could follow.